Hey folks, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to another episode of a TV commentary. Now, of course, we got some fun games lined up for you on today's episode. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the fun matches I've collected. Hold on though, Red. Before we take a look at those games, I just want to talk about this little analytic above my head right here. My fingers in front of the microphone. If you don't already know, we are very close here on the RedMaster channel to surpassing that 1K subscriber milestone. And we are less than 8 subs away at the time of recording this segment, which is insane to me. And I was taking a look at the analytics earlier, and it turns out that 32% of folks who watch the content are not subscribed, which is really weird to me because those folks could be missing out on a chance to make history by being the few who pushed RedMaster to 1K. So, folks, if you haven't already considered subscribing, be sure to do so. It does support the channel. It does nothing to you. It helps us grow. All of this amazing stuff. You can always unsubscribe later at a different time if you don't find the content enjoyable. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I know I kind of do this like every once in a while, but this one feels really special to me. It feels really important. I've done this segment like literally 10,000 times to record the right message here, because that's just how much it means to me to, you know, finally be able to say this kind of stuff, to reach that kind of milestone. It's wild, and I hope folks do decide to join us on this journey. We would love to have you. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say on that. Be sure to consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and let's go ahead and not waste any further time by getting into game number 1. Alright folks, and for our first match, it is going to be Tucker taking on Tweakin here in a match that I do want to kind of showcase for what Tweakin's trying to do here. He was trying to allude earlier at some point that he wanted to do a bit more with cards that are underutilized, things like Sheep to the Slaughter here, and we'll see if we can get it going in this matchup as the blue-white takes on the green-white here, starting off with a clean lumber trade. Very cool to see. Unfortunately, though, for Tweakin, his hand isn't looking too hot right now. The wizard is a next turn play he'll have to make, but Tucker going to take advantage of the situation here, going into the hovel plus lumberjack. Kind of pause there for a minute. And yeah, Tweakin going to have to throw out the wizard here. Nice that he's starting the hovel with this as well. It's kind of forcing Tucker to maybe take a bit more defensive look at his board to see if he can maybe protect his hovel. And he's going to try to here lumberjack in a way that we can block Dagger Storm, which I guess is okay, but this does incentivize Tweakin to kind of push forward and eliminate the hovel rather than kind of playing the debate on do we want to get rid of it. So we'll see here, Mana Core actually a perfect pickup. Gonna come in, pop the lumberjack, allowing Tweakin to move up the wizard to slap the hovel for free. And this is very big for him. Shutting down a early token producer when his hand isn't looking too good is exactly what he needs to kind of help him stabilize in this game for just a little bit longer here. And Tucker, meanwhile, going with the interesting Serpent Witch play here. Now, we can set up a freezing pillar if we want to, but Tweakin opting to stay back and pass for the time being. Interesting call there. Going to get met with another copy of Dagger Storm to remove the Manticore. Blacksmith coming out as well to provide a global buff to the board here. Seems okay for Tucker. And yeah, Tweakin definitely not in a great place here. You're going to see the Spiny coming in. No companion played there. It is just straight off the spawn, which is not what we want to do with companions, but kind of a necessary, I believe, if we want to help stabilize a bit. And honestly, stabilize we will here. A bit risky and a bit aggressive here from Tucker, going with the dual Elvish Thief into the Serpent Witch. This is a mistake that is going to cost him here. We can see the Spiny be played in a position to where Freezing Pillar can nab all 3 of these units. And without a additional companion here to pop the filler, Tucker is going to be in a little bit of trouble, but does have a solution. Scope on the captain coming out here, going to pop the freezing pillar, but here's where the fun gets interesting here. Now, we know the sheep is in Tweakin's hand. He can L-blade his Spiny, pull in a perfect Sheep to the Slaughter here to line everything up for a big Thunderstrike chain, creating a mini Yarm effect, in a sense, here to completely clear the board. And that is very big here, especially moving into the later portions of this game. We know that Tucker has been utilizing a bunch of resources here. We know that he's been whittled down a bit as he keeps throwing in more and more guys, and without a lot of draw coming in from the pirates and druids, it's gonna be hard for him to kind of bounce back until sudden death kicks in. So hopefully Tweakin can use this, take advantage of the situation. We see Dual Rider coming out here in response to the board clear. It's not great. Oh, Yenneroth is a huge pickup, though, for Tweakin. That is absolutely going to come in handy. Completely freezing off the board here. Interesting to see how he did not throw it all the way in to be that little extra bit of aggressive, even though Tucker is on 2 cards. Show that Tweakin is, you know, kind of respectful at all times of each scenario that can potentially happen, but we see Tucker opting to pass in this case. And Spiny, again, a massive pickup here. Manticore can come in, the Spiny can be dropped down, and a Lightning Blade Method on said Spiny to help completely clear the way for Yenneroth to take another big chunk out of the castle here. A Rider's going on to the Spiny and the Yenneroth. Sure, not a huge deal. We can still land a big shot. We are protected by the Manticore through combat damage, so this is just an incredible spot to be in. I feel like it's over, and what do you know? It's over. I mean, that right there, I think, was probably one of the better uses of Sheep to the Slaughter I've seen in a hot minute. And, you know, obviously you're not going to get that kind of value every time, just the way that with the positions are. Some players obviously are not that aggressive with some of their units. But when you can catch scenarios like this, where you can find the optimal chain route, you can push it or pull everything closer, create that Thunderstrike, the perfect mix, it is absolutely devastating value for you, and very hard to come back from if you are the opponent. But overall, a great starting matchup from Tweakin here. Love to see him get some use out of some cards here. Let's go ahead, though, and jump into game number 2 and see who's going to follow that up. All right, folks, in game number 2, we've got Matt Murdock taking on hippiesujo. I did not really center this when I clicked the button here, so not great, but that's okay. It's going to be a Warlock Viking taking on a Viking Pirate. Opening up here, we got Murdock on the Salahar Soldier. Very interesting choice for these colors specifically. There's no Awaken synergy as far as we know, so a bit of an interesting move to kind of commit to that soldier play here. And Flame Prince from Hippie is fine. Again, nothing we often see here. Flame Prince, a bit of a slower unit in this day and age, and not exactly super great, but still gets its use here and there. And now Murdock going to advance here with a dual Lumberjack push alongside the Soldier. This isn't bad, but gives Hippie a great opportunity here for a Cloak of Ice play. I don't remember if the Cloak... Was the Cloak off the top? No, he had it in hand already. So yeah, Cloak not off the top. It gives him a great position for it. He's going to take it, which, you know, absolutely should. Based on the last game we saw, we know how crucial positions like this are, where you can freeze everything off here and kind of delay the advance and delay interactions here. And this also gives the Flame Prince enough time to grow to pop the Soldier for free, if he wants to take that. Or he could go Berserker here. Yep, Berserker going to be the call. I think Flame Prince being kept there is a good call as well. It keeps everything frozen here. This Berserker now going to able to pick off the Lumberjacks and gain some nice stats off of this here. But Dino Rider is the card going to come in now. Interesting call here, to say the least. Dino Rider hints at some dwarf deck potentially, and in green-blue, that's something that I haven't really seen too often nowadays, so very interested to see where this goes. Flame Prince, though, going to take a shot at the castle for 4, freezing off the Dino Rider in the process here, and Berserker also, again, picking off the frozen Lumberjacks to gain some stats, disintegrating the Lumberjack up top, which I think is an interesting call. I mean, I don't think I agree with that, to be honest. Sure, you cut off the draw, but look how many cards Murdock is ahead on already. It feels like you could have just left that alone and maybe focus out on a dual Questing Knight push, or maybe a Furnace Knight. I think the Furnace Knight plays a little bit iffier because you have to position things and maybe can take some Inferno damage. So, I mean, I just don't agree with Disintegrate being the call to make here, especially when the draw is pretty null and void here already. We see Tunnel Escape now for Murdock. He did have the answer for the Flame Prince, it looks like, and now his Dino Rider will be free. Frost Giant value, though, incredible pickup from the top, will again freeze off the Rider, allowing the Berserker to come in and chip for some more damage. Isn't looking great for Murdock, though. We'll see how he is able to recover. Dino Rider is going to be a great way to do so, killing off the Berserker and pushing back both Giant and Questing Knight here. We can Dragon's Fire to clear the T-Rex if we want to, which is the route we're going to go, but I don't think I agree with that play per se. It kind of feels a little wasted. We could have allowed maybe the T-Rex to stay, but hard to say here. T-Rex main deck kind of mean, yeah, Baby Dino as well, means that there is the potential of a Dino Nest popping here, and while you aren't going to be able to stop it because Dino Rider's still on the board here, I kind of respect that you don't want to just let the T-Rex grow into this massive creature off of that, because of course, the Dino Nest is still in the position where you'd also get a bit of healing on your weakened T-Rexes or Dinos after a Dino Nest pops, so it's not great for you to just leave it on board here. Dwarven Mithril for follow-up as well here after a Miner and Baby Dino, though, from Murdock. So committed to, I guess, the Dwarf Dinosaurs is Matt on this, which is cool to see. Dwarf Dinos is something that, you know, people have always tried here and there, but always a mixed bag of success depending on, you know, how you're looking in a game. Follow the second rider here, Dwarven Weapons. Okay, so a Mithril and Weapons combo has been utilized on some of these creatures. Dino Rider moving in as a 9-8, 8-6 for follow-up. The Miner as well, getting a Vampire kill. Very impressive there. And Hippie in a rough spot right now. He's going to go for the Armory, taking out the 9-4 Dino Rider, which is the smart play, plus both Questing Knights into the 8-6. I guess that is okay, but definitely feels not the best play to make here. I mean, just based on the amount of resources we have, we're in serious trouble. And Dino off the top is going to expedite that trouble just a little bit more here. Dinos, of course, moving around the board. One being at 6-7 is incredibly, you know, funny. And yeah, Hippie not in a great spot. Furnace Knight going to come out. Probably get equipped with the Battle Ready as well, right? Although I think I don't remember if Battle Ready can also go on a range unit. I forget, but it will go on the 7, or it will go on the Furnace Knight. Excuse me, creating a 7-10. And there it is, baby. Dino Evolution. The big Dino payoff has hit the board in TV commentary. And yeah, I mean, at this position, Hippie's on a 1-card top deck here. Not a whole lot that he can do to stop it. He'll move back the Wizard, popping one of the T-Rexes, but there is so much damage coming into face here. I think that is just lethal, actually. 9 from the top, 8-9 coming into face here. The Dwarven Miner moves down for additional 5. More than enough to clean up for lethal, and will end off a very, very impressive turnaround game for Murdock. I mean, we saw that he did let a lot of damage in early, but thankfully he was able to turn that around with Dinosaur Synergy here. And also some cool use of Mithril and Weapons. I don't know how instrumental they were into this game. Maybe the Mithril more so because it provided a bit extra health to keep things on board. But it was a very good showcase of the Dwarf and Dinosaur combination nonetheless. So, again, congrats to Matt for taking that win. But folks, we have one more game to go for this episode. And let me tell you, it's a big one. Let's go ahead and jump into game 3 right now. Alright folks, and here it is, our last matchup for this video, and we've got a very, very special, heavy-hitting game, Beastly OTK taking on Beastly. Now, if you know the story behind this, you know the story, and if you don't know, be sure to follow Beastly over on Twitch to get the full idea of how this match ended up being created. It was a mess, and thankfully we were in stream when it happened. We caught the clip afterwards on TV. And so we're bringing it here, folks. Beastly OTK, take it on Beastly. White, yellow, take it on red, yellow. Let's go ahead and see how Beastly does against Beastly. So we're opening up here pretty strongly. The Imp into the Detonate Arbiter combo as well. I think we're going to avoid the Detonate Arbiter combo, but we'll see what happens. Maybe if we want to use the Detonate early or we want to hold it. Regardless, we got Imp to start out here on Beastly side. OTK Beastly going to go with the Hassan City Guards. Now, Beastly on this side running no interactions. On the other, most likely his global, or just global deck. I don't know why I said global twice. That's just how many globals are in the deck. One that revolves around just simply creating big doofuses that you run around the board here with things like Fat Bard Armory, etc., etc. So we'll see what happens. Spiny to pop into the fresh Imp. Hassan City Guard trading with the Imp on face. Nice to have OTK clear the board here, but now Beastly able to freely set up Atarius files. This is going to get some big Flamestorm value here, potentially, depending on how OTK sets up. Just seeing a Blacksmith, though. Okay, not great. We're going to opt for a second Atarius files in the meantime. This is nice, getting some potential huge value out of this Flamestorm to draw 4 discounted cards, plus Lumberjack to block as well. Although OTK here running the Spiny here. It's not really... Okay. Yep, Spiny. Spiny good. Spiny positioned well. Oh, a pass. We see passing on the Flamestorm value. That's kind of interesting. We'll see the Bestial Rage come out into the Sacred Quest for follow-up here. This is going to get some big value. Popping the Castle Health as well as the Lumberjack here. Man, it was a mistake for Beastly to kind of just let that Spiny survive, in my opinion. But regardless, some big value for OTK. We'll see if now Beastly commits to the Flamestorm. Gonna Headless first. Gonna pop the face a little bit here. Trading with the Spiny. That's very good. Setting up the Detonate a little earlier, actually, than anticipated. Okay. So he can still pull off the Detonate combo in this case. So we'll see if he decides to maybe commit to the Arbiter play later. Fat Bard coming out now from OTK plus the Priest here. Now we're going to start to see the global side of OTK's deck start to take shape here. A little bit annoying, but I think Beastly's got this. He can Flamestorm now. Creating some huge value off of the Tarius files, as well as damaging all the other units. Chaotic Storm as well, which is nice. Ooh, popping the Priest. I mean, that's still fine. The Rider comes in. The Rider chips away at the 3-2. What are we going to kill off? The Castle, the worst possible target we could hit. Gonna follow with some Incinerate over on the Castle as well. And now we line ourselves in perfect range for an Arbiter Detonate combo. We'll see what Beast decides to do here, or OTK, excuse me. Leading into the 3 damage on face. Do we have enough to Arbiter block? We do. Uh-oh, looks like we're going to Arbiter block. Yes, sir. There's the Arbiter block. RedMaster in a great spot here to protect the Fat Bard. Everything in a wonderful, wonderful location. I'm going to give Beastly a bit of trouble here. He can't now use the Arbiter block, or the Arbiter for a win con, because it's blocking the Castle. His units are blocking off the sweet spot for the explosion damage. And now, of course, BCLTK moving in here with some big damage. It's not great, not looking good for him. And then, yep, the Wizard maintaining the Arbiter's block, folks. Maintaining the Arbiter's block here, but it doesn't matter. It does not. Fear, of course, going to push back the Ramrus out of sight into the Arbiters for the win here. Arbiter going to heal up, moving in, slapping for 4, and of course, triggering the Detonate on trigger. I think I messed up the English sentence, but regardless, folks, it looks like Beastly walks away with a win from BCLTK. Very hard fought match. Congratulations to Beastly for winning that game. So well fought, so hard fought on both ends. Oh man. And this is what happens, folks, when you try to queue in 2 accounts on ladder at the same time. Well, that was match number 3 here. A fun little way to end off this episode. So, folks, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of TV Commentary. If you guys did enjoy the matches for today, let me know your thoughts by leaving them down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to let me know what you thought of today's video. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment, like I already told you to do before. And be sure to subscribe. The most important thing you can do is subscribe to the channel, folks. We are almost at 1K. Can you believe it? 8 subscribers away from hitting a huge channel milestone. Folks, if you haven't already subscribed, I highly recommend you do. It's going to be wild once we hit 1K, and it's going to keep going further from there. I'm very excited. I hope you join us for the ride. But, folks, that is going to do it for now. I guess with that being said, until next time, stay gaming.